everyone, I am Manulinsi Baring, back in again with another math tutorial video. So I will discuss for today is all about properties of the diagonals of a square. What is the diagonal of a square? The diagonal of a square is a line segment that joins any two non-adjacent vertices. A square has two diagonals that are equal in length and bisect each other at right angles. The diagonal of a square formula is used to calculate the length of the diagonal of a square when its side length is known. What is the diagonal of a square again? A square has two diagonals and each diagonal is formed by joining the opposite vertices of the square. Observe the following square to relate to the properties of the diagonals given below. The diagonals of a square are equal in length. They are perpendicular bisectors of each other. They divide the square into two congruent isosceles right-angled triangles. So the picture here is the example of the diagonal of a square. So you see the diagonal and they're congruent and the opposite angles. So the number one properties of the diagonals of a square is that the diagonals of a square are congruent. So the diagonals of a square are congruent, so which means AC is congruent to BD. The number 2 is the diagonals of a square bisects each other. So I have here the example. So I have the square which is the sides of K, L, M, N. Then the diagonals is LN, then KM, and the intersection point is 0. So we have now the LO is congruent to NO or KO is congruent to MO. The number 3 is the diagonals of a square are perpendicular. We draw the square, then the diagonals, then at the center are the 90-degree angle. So number 4, every diagonal of a square bisects each other opposite angles. So let's say we have the square A, B, C, and D, then the diagonals AC, so these angles is opposite to the other side. So the same as the diagonals of D and B, same angles. So number 5, each diagonals divides the square into two congruent isosceles right triangle. So let's say we have the square of K, L, M, and N. Then I will draw the diagonals in L, N. So we have now the diagonals divide the square into two congruent isosceles right triangle. So for example, ABCD is a square. Find the length of each side if DE measures 5 cm. So we're going to find the measure of the square. Our given is DE, which is 5 cm. So rewrite it will form a right triangle because in our property diagonals will form a perpendicular and this is 5 cm, and in our property and it will form a isosceles triangle. If this is 5, this is also 5 cm. So opposite our right angle is our hypotenuse. So right triangle, we're going to use Pythagorean theorem. So we have the C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. So we have the given side. Let's say X squared is equal to our given 5 times squared plus 5 times squared. So now we have X squared is equal to 25 plus 25. So square root of X squared is equals to square root of 50. Get the square root of X is equal to factors of 25 are 25.2. X is equal to square root of 25 times 5 is square root of 2. Therefore, each side, so let's say AB is equal to 5 square root of 2. We have our unit is cm. So 5 is square root of 2 cm. So BC is equal to 5 square root of 2 centimeter. CD is equal to 5 square root of 2 centimeter. And ED is equal to 5 square root of 2 centimeter. So that is the properties of the diagonal of a square.